who they actually defeated in their previous match. In contrast, Kingston had been struggling in the final pool and they lay bottom. Their only victory so far came against the Italians Scavolone Pesaro. Now, if you're wondering why Kingston have so many points, it's because in basketball teams get a point for losing. Don't expect me to explain. Evidently they get a point for turning up. Crystal Palace the venue, Dan Lloyd and Paul Dickinson the commentators.
Well, there is number 13, Martin Henlon, and he's going to go to the centre line for this tip-off in the 8th match of the round-robin league for the European Champions Cup. And Kingston in the blue really have a fight on their hands as the English champions are up against the second-ranked team in the tournament, Aris Thessalonica from Greece. And they've already won 5 times in this competition so far. We've recently seen Kingston win at home against Scavolini, the Italian champions, but last week they lost to the favourites for the European Cup, Barcelona, and so tonight at Crystal Palace they've got something to prove to their faithful fans. That was a missed shot there by the Greeks, and Alton Bird, number 10, comes away, feeds Martin Henlon, and the first 2 points to Kingston. So that's a good start for Henlon. There you have it. 20 minutes in each half, and number 6 there, Gallus, the Greek captain, on the ball straight away. Outside shooting there from the Greeks, that's missed. The rebound missed though, but Alan Cunningham, number 7, takes it away, and that could be the first foul. And that's against Yanakis. There you see Alan Cunningham, number 7, such a valuable player to Kingston with good shooting and rebounds. Martin Clark to take the throw in. Off to Alan Cunningham, a long shot, and that's missed. Clark retrieves, back to Cunningham. Martin Clark, a long one, that's missed as well. The Greeks take the rebound. So Dan Lloyd, what really are we looking for in terms of tactics from Kingston tonight?
Well, there's one key matchup right there, Paul, is Mike Griffiths on Nick Gallus. Gallus, the leading scorer in Europe to date, averaging over 30 points in this final pool. So Mike's got a tough job on his hands tonight. I'm sure they're going to try to contain him as much as possible.
There's Gallus back on the ball. And the Kingston team there playing a zone defence. Alan Cunningham taking the rebound. You'll hear a lot of that man this evening, both in defence and attack, as Bird goes on the drive, but Henlon fumbles it. And recently, Dan, Kingston have had trouble with fouls. We've only seen 1 foul so far, and that was from the Greeks. How big a problem could it be for them?
Well, it's been a major problem for most of these European games, Paul. It's an adjustment being made to European basketball as opposed to domestic, and it definitely doesn't help them when they have several of their key members, which they have done, get in foul trouble.
Well, there's Brad Salas. He puts 2 points away for the Greek side. So Aris there with Cunningham on the drive. He points to the free throw line. That's number 8, Sobin. So that's the second foul for the Greek side. And we could well see a situation, as we've seen with some of the other matches in this European Champions Cup, where fouls are important. If you're fouled in the act of shooting, that sends the player to the free throw line. Good shot there. So he makes the extra point. That was a 3-point play. Kingston away to a good start, but there's the big American again. Sellers, he misses. Cunningham again with the rebound. Cunningham back to Alton Bird. Alton Bird, the midfield general. 33 years old now, but playing like somebody half his age. Martin Clark with a long outside shot. This man looks dangerous. Brad Sellers there on the drive. He wants the 2 points. And I think really this guy is going to be a big danger to Kingston.
Yeah, there we are at foul on Martin Clark as Sellers takes the ball to the basket. He judged it as before the shot, so it's sideline possession. You can see Kingston really putting the defensive pressure on. That's one of their ploys, one of their tactics is intense defensive pressure and that defensive rebounding. That's one of the aspects of the game they have to control.
Well, the referee there calling a foul on Alan Cunningham. That was a charging foul, I suspect. Alton Bird making a drive for the basket and then just feeding it inside. And and Cunningham it was who was adjudged to have pushed the Greek player. But they've still got this 3-point cushion. We're 2.5 minutes into the match, and Sellers fumbles there, so Clark retrieves the ball, and it's Alton Bird who comes away again.
It was a great hustle from Alan Cunningham, coming back and blocking that shot by Sellers, getting the ball back for Kingston.
Good 2 points there for Martin Clark. And we heard after the Barcelona match last time that number 14 there, Martin Clark, this could be his last season. That would be a great loss to the Kingston club and to the England side.
Yeah, I believe that when I see it, Paul. I don't think Martin's going to fall out of this game. He's not going to call it quits just yet. But we'll see.
There's Yanakis onto Sobin. A lot of movement inside the Kingston zone there as the captain goes up for a shot and misses. Clark retrieves straight out to Alton Bird. Nice pair of shorts he's got on there today, and a great shot. 2 points for Bird. The lead stretched to 7, and we're still only 3.5 minutes into this first half. There's the team captain Gallis. He's played for his country over 150 times. This Greek side full of international players. Clark takes the rebound.
Yeah, and you see, Paul, we talked earlier about the defensive boards. Kingston doing a great job in boxing out in there and limiting the Aris team to just one shot every time, and that's going to be very, very important. And at the same time they get that rebound, they outlet the ball quickly and get down the floor as quick as possible for an early shot.
Good 2 points there from Martin Henlon. So Kingston on the charge here, and how important it's been for them to get off to a good start. Clark it was who fed inside, and Henlon with an easy basket. So the lead now to 9.
And here we see the full court defensive pressure there, man-to-man, Bird on Yanakis. Yanakis, their main ball handler, playmaker for the Greek team, so Alton's got his hands full there as well.
Second foul, Alton Bird.
Well, there was a call there, and it was Alton Bird who was mentioned. There you see the Greek captain Gallis. And between Bird and Gallis, what a wealth of experience they've got. Played many internationals. So it's going to be interesting to see the battle between those two players. And that looked as though it could have well been called for travelling or walking with the ball. That was Sobin. So let's see if Kingston can keep the impetus up. They've got off to a cracking good start. There you see Alton Bird with his shorts again, which I'm sure Linford Christie was proud of. It was Linford and of course Alan Wells back in the 80s who set the fashion for these long shorts to keep the legs warm. Clark on the turn. Rebound there from the Greeks. Yanakis brings it away. A long 3-point play, but he misses, and it's back to Alton Bird. That came off the foot of the Greeks. There's Gallis protesting. And I think one thing we're definitely going to see tonight is a lot of protesting. The Greeks are renowned for this, and they've got a very strong contingent of Greek fans here. Rumour has it there was something like 2,000 people made the trip. So how important do you think for the Greeks it's going to be to have such strong support?
Well, it's like a home away from home here at Crystal Palace tonight, Paul. It's definitely the advantage to the Greeks as far as the crowd's concerned. I'm sure they're going to be their sixth man out there tonight. And anytime something happens to Nick Gallis, he fouls or he gets touched, their crowd's going to be up in an uproar. So he's got the crowd in the palm of his hands out there tonight. He's their main man.
Well, a pause in the play there while the referee had a word with Alton Bird. And there you see the 7-foot frame of number 15 in the yellow there, Brad Sellers from the USA, played for Chicago. The only 7-footer on the court tonight. So the play slowed down at the moment. There you see Alton Bird holding up his finger, so Kingston know what play is going to take place. And Clark it is, who gets blocked out by Sellers.
It's a big man to try to shoot over, Paul, 7 feet. Good ball move from the Greeks. And again, Kingston with a defensive rebound. Here they are off to the races. It's their game plan.
Well, Clark it is again, who puts the pressure on the Greeks. Another good 2 points. An excellent outside shooter, Martin Clark. He's done the same thing time and time again in the last few seasons for Kingston and for the England side.
It's very important for Kingston that Martin does come out and start shooting the ball early and hitting his early shots so he can get in his rhythm, because he is definitely the best shooter on the team.
Well, that was a great drive there from Yanakis. He really glided through the zone defense of Kingston. They're going to have to watch that. So here you see the man again, Alton Bird. He controls the play. He controls the speed, the pace of the play. Martin Henlon sets a screen there. Goes across. That's a long shot. That's a great shot there from Mike Griffiths.
A big three-pointer from Mike Griffiths. It's good to see him get out and shoot early as well. Last few European games, Paul, he's taken very few shots, and he's a very good shooter in his own right, as well as a good defensive player.
Well, as the big American moves inside, and a foul is called, I don't really believe that the Greeks thought that they could be 16 points forward down. Never see the replay, and there's a push there from Alan Cunningham.
It's a tough place to try to stop a 7-footer Paul underneath the basket like that. Good strong move from Sellers. 3 years in the NBA will do a lot for you experience-wise, making those moves.
Well, he misses the point, which would have given him a three-point play. So the lead's still quite substantial, 10 points there. Nearly down to 12 minutes of this second half left. There's Martin Clark again, takes the lead back up to 12.
And here we see Mike Griffiths picking up Nick Gallus early on. Good defense there from the Kingston team. Familiar with the defensive rebound, good effort in there from Kingston. And again, as you say, they're off to the races. The early shot, and there it is.
That was a great shot by Alton Bird.
And here's that last shot from Alton Bird, which, as you can see, was definitely a three-point shot. Referees adjudged it for 2, though. Hopefully, it won't hurt him as we go down the line here.
Well, time will tell, but we've seen in basketball matches before, even if the score has been up in the 80s or 90s, 1 point can make all the difference. So Kingston might look back on that replay with some regret. And there you see the Greeks. That was a good shot there, under pressure. And that again was from Yanakis, and he is proving to be a very dangerous player. And this is the first sight we've seen of Lorenzo Duncan.
Yeah, he's come in for Alton, giving him a bit of a blow. Alton's been working pretty hard out there, and I'm sure Lorenzo's got the same orders out there. Push that ball up the floor. And there he is sneaking in for 2 points.
That's a good start for Lorenzo Duncan, and we've got the first sight as well of number 15, Trevor Gordon. Another 6'9" guy, so we're going to see him perhaps trying to mark out Brad Sellers, who's proving to be a bit of a problem underneath the basket. And there's a drive there from Sobin, and I think the foul possibly called on Martin Clark.
Yeah, Sobin's a big man for Martin to handle. Martin's a good defensive player, but these big guys, they got a lot of power in there. He's going to have to get better position in there, and he got him with a foul with the body on that one.
There's the big guy again, and he misses this time. Lorenzo Duncan hugging the ball. And there's Martin Henlon coming back on, so that's another substitution, and this is giving Martin Clark a breather. And I guess really it's very important in these long matches. It's only 20 minutes each way, but the clock does stop every time the whistle goes, that the more experienced players do have the chance to have a breather from time to time.
A great fast break from the Aris team. Gallus to Sellers for the dunk. That was on a Kingston turnover. There it is again. Doesn't have far to go, Brad Sellers, on that. But with that substitution of Henlon coming here, that gives Kingston one of their biggest lineups with Gordon, Henlon, and Alan Cunningham. Great rebounding lineup there.
That was a great turn there from Lorenzo Duncan for another 2 points. So the pressure still with Aris. Now you see the score, 14 points behind Kingston.
You don't want to get behind and fight back in what most instances will be a foreign crowd, but I wouldn't say so in this instance, Paul.
That was a substitution there as the Greeks take a shot, and Alton Bird it is who comes back on. Mike Griffiths going off, and I'm sure Coach Cadle for Kingston is going to be anxious to maintain this pressure, and this is the man that can do it.
He's controlling tempo so far tonight, Paul, and that's what Kingston want to do. He slows it down when it needs to be slowed down, and he picks up the pace when he sees the opportunity.
Well, it was Gordon who fed off to Martin Henlon. Henlon missed the shot, but Gordon came in on the rebound. Watch this. Gordon to Henlon, missed shot, and Trevor Gordon came steaming in just to tip the ball in for 2 points.
Nice offensive tip there from Gordon. That's a big lineup can make a difference in that area, especially in rebounding. And so far, that's one part of the game where Kingston is definitely dominating both on the offensive and defensive boards.
Well, both teams have got some big men. There you see the biggest of them all, Brad Sellers, but we've got a number of players at 6'9" on the court. So the Greek coach, I'm sure, as we were saying, not terribly happy at the moment. He's under pressure as well, and they are missing these rebounds, and they're missing some of their shots as well.
And this is what can happen, Paul, when you get a team down like this. They can start arguing amongst themselves, blaming one guy, blaming the other, blaming the coach. Can make for a bad situation out there.
Good rebound by Henlon. Bird it is who goes for the long shot again. Missed this time. The Greeks come out quickly. But there's their team captain, their midfield player. What a jump. My goodness gracious me, that's 2 points.
Yeah, that's Nick Gallis at his best, Paul. He's great in those situations, shooting off the dribble. I don't think they like that call. Nice dump pass here from Alton Bird to Trevor Gordon. Liparides up there going to block it. Very close, but nonetheless he's got the foul, and Trevor's got a chance to put 2 more points on the board.
Well, again, the Greeks taking dispute with the referee, but it sends Trevor Gordon to the free throw line. Good shot. There's a lot of noise in the background. The Kingston fans, I've got a feeling, may even be outnumbered here tonight.
I would say so, Paul. I think the bulk of them are still out there in the snow somewhere trying to get here. Great steal off the full court press there for Kingston. See if they can score off it.
And surely enough they can. That's Trevor Gordon again, fed by Lorenzo Duncan. That was a good basket, and that keeps the pressure on. There you have it. The lead has now been stretched to 18 points, just over 8 minutes left of this first half. And the Greeks playing the ball around across the top of the zone, trying to make an opening. But Brad Sellers there being adjudged to have fouled off the ball, and that often happens in basketball. That's possibly why there is a need for 2 referees, because there's a lot of pushing and shoving. It's supposed to be a non-contact game, but in some of these matches it's just as rough and tough as any contact game I've ever seen.
You can say that.
Yanakis feeding out there to Gallis. Gallis again on the drive. A foul's being called. It certainly didn't please the crowd. Let's watch that again.
There he is driving to the basket. The only man I could see close to him was Mike Griffiths. He's a tough player to stop in a one-on-one situation. And this is where he ends up a lot of times, on the free throw line.
Well, as we look at Nick Gallis there, interesting situation. He was actually born in the United States, but came to Greece in 1980, and has certainly been one of the major factors why Greece is now a major force in world basketball. A lot of the popularity there accredited to the captain, Nick Gallis. And a foul there by Yanakis.
Yeah, here we see it. Yanakis, one of the top defensive guards in Europe. Ref that time judged him for body contact there, so he drew his 3rd foul, which could prove critical down the end of the game here.
So Martin Henlon takes an exit from the match. He's been substituted, and we see Martin Clark back on court. There's Alan Cunningham, number 7. And there's Clark, number 14. He's feeding to Trevor Gordon. Trevor Gordon trying to find an opening, and that's a tough one. Rebound again by the Greeks. And every time the Kingston team miss, they're wasting chances. And that is the Greeks' reply through Yanakis. And that brings them to within 10. We're halfway through this second half. So Lorenzo Duncan goes on a drive. Trevor Gordon inside. And that's a good 2 points.
Yeah, they needed that. They hit a little bit of a dry spell there. Nice pass from Lorenzo Duncan inside to Gordon. Makes an acrobatic layup. But, you know, that's what Kingston have to do. Keep pushing that ball up the floor, trying to get an early shot. It's when they set up into an offense where they have their problems.
Well, Mike Griffiths taking some of the responsibility of marking Sobin, who just missed that shot, and there's an enormous tussle going on down there between the two of them. Mike Griffiths, a great defensive player, and it looks as though now we're having a substitution as Duncan, number 5, comes off and is replaced by Alton Bird. And perhaps surprisingly, Martin Clark coming off and Martin Henlon coming back on.
Yeah, there we saw Trevor Gordon getting his arm stuck in there. You let a guy like Sobin get positioned down low, it's going to be difficult to stop, and you know you're going to end up fouling him like that. So they got to beat him to that spot and try to keep him from getting the ball in there.
It looks as though Sobin is almost rooted to this free throw line during this second half, and we saw there just before the caption saying that Alan Cunningham's contribution was 23 points, but possibly, more importantly, and a danger to Kingston. He's now on 4 fouls, and 1 more, and he will make a hasty exit from this game.
Oh, tough play there. Alton had 2 guys to go to, and it went through Trevor Gordon's legs. That would have been a sure 2 points.
That was travelling. Gallus adjudged to have walked with the ball. He was off balance, and the Greek crowd do not like that call one little bit.
Oh, their man can do no wrong, and that came out of the Kingston defense. That full court press, it caused Aris some jitters in the first half, causing a few turnovers. I can see Kingston putting that back out there again this half.
I think it's fair to say that some of the calls this evening have been a little bit erratic. Not necessarily with regard to either Kingston or the Greeks, but the 2 referees, they're having a tough time. They know it's a big match. Yanakis tries to feed inside to Brad Sellers, but it's fumbled. And there's Sobin. He doesn't like that call.
Not at all. And you can see why the referees have a tough time. It's a lot of contact in there. There's a lot of jostling for position.
I think that could well have come off his head, actually. But the Greeks are under pressure. They are behind in the match, so every call is going to be vital for them now. There may be a bit of moisture or something on the floor. In fact, there's a coin there. Now, this is a great shame. Somebody has thrown money onto the court. There's more comes raining down. One can't speculate as to which lot of supporters is doing this, but this is bad news for Kingston Basketball Club.
Yeah, this is something you don't want to happen, and you know, very volatile situation here. It's you can see very fervent support from the for the Greek side, and when they're not happy, that's one way they show it. Throwing the coins on the floor. Unfortunately, that's when somebody can get hurt, and that's the last thing you want to happen.
Well, there you see the bench of officials. They're obviously not happy about the situation. And the clock is stopped, so it won't affect the overall outcome of the time of the game. But the officials really must get this situation sorted out. We can't possibly have coins being thrown onto the pitch. It could be dangerous for the players and for other spectators. But it sends Martin Clark to the free throw line. And Crystal Palace really is a cauldron at the moment.
You wouldn't know this was a home game for Kingston, would you?
So there you see Kingston 69, Aris at 57. We're down into the last quarter of this match. Good pass there from the captain. The big man goes up, Brad Sellers. But it's Alton Bird who brings it away.
Yeah, big miss there. They had a good opportunity to get an easy basket in there, and Kingston come away with it. And the same for Kingston. They had a chance there for 2 more.
And that could well be a foul against Alton Bird when Yanakis was on the drive. And so Yanakis will go to the free throw line. Watch there again, and it came from behind.
Hit him in the head there. He was going for the ball. And it's, I believe that's 3 on Alton. And again,
that was unlucky.
I'll say that should have been a Kingston rebound off a missed first shot on the 1-on-1. Instead, it's tipped in for 2 points for Aris, who puts them down just 10 points. And the crowd is really starting to get in the game now.
Well, you get the impression that if anybody's going to take control of this match and make sure Kingston come out of it ahead, it could well be Alton Bird. But it's Nick Gallis on the ball now, his opposite number, and that's well tipped away. Gallis it is again though, 2 points for him. And the Greeks go straight into a press. A foul is called there against Gallis, so he's not happy. But they try to put the press on straight away there, and I think he may well have rushed into it.
Again, there's Alan Cunningham coming in. Nice block shot there, but he can't afford to draw another foul. Gallis getting the ball back, putting it up for 2 points. It puts him down just 8.
Well, a call there by the umpire. It could well have been a foul off the ball. We're down to 7 minutes now, but Kingston still well in the lead. And considering the weather conditions outside, I really can't believe how many Greek spectators there are. And there we see the table officials there.
That's a double foul, Paul. I believe that's Alan Cunningham's 5th foul. As you say, it was a foul away from the ball. And unfortunately, Alan was one of them. And that's his 5th foul, so he won't be out there anymore, which is not going to help Kingston at all.
Well, that's certainly a major blow for Kingston and for Kevin Cadle. There you see what Alan Cunningham has done, 23 points. That's a great achievement for him. But 5 fouls, so he leaves the game.
That's 23 points is a third of Kingston's total so far, so you can see how much he's going to be missed. And it's important the referees they make sure they keep control of this game, because you can hear how the crowd is. It's going to take much to incite them.
Well, there's Martin Clark, we saw before, just making the Greeks work hard to get the ball back into play, and that's Sobin back to Yanakis. There's Nick Gallis on the ball. I think they can perhaps sense that they've taken a bit of the initiative away from Kingston as Gallis goes in again, but that's a great rebound from Martin Henlon.
Great rebound, up and over Sobin on that. Sobin, a Yugoslav international. Martin Henlon, just a young kid out there at age 23. Big rebound there.
So Alton Bird playing with Gallis. He goes on a drive himself. That's pushed out by Yanakis, but the lead down to 8 points. So what do you think Coach Cadle is going to be thinking at the moment in terms of the pressure that Kingston have to bear in this last 7 minutes?
Well, he just wants them obviously to keep their cool, keep control out there. There's another lucky break for Kingston. They get the ball back. You know, just concentrate on executing things offensively and keep playing that defense. And Jerry, the drummer for Kingston.
Well, there's Alton Bird calling the play again.
And he's the man who's going to have to make sure they keep control, keep their composure.
There's a sloppy pass there, intercepted by the Greeks, and it's Nick Gallis again who comes away. So Gallis doing exactly the same role as Alton Bird. He's going to call the shots, I think. Sobin tries to work his way inside, and there's 2 points. And that's the first time we've seen the coach, Lekic, really get excited during this match. Maybe he can sense that his team is coming back. It's Nick Gallis he's shouting to. But Gallis has got his hands full trying to keep Alton Bird out of the way.
Oh, unfortunate. Good opportunity there missed for Kingston.
Well, I think the referee there signifying no basket, but calling the foul on Martin Clark.
Yeah, Kingston aren't, they're not even getting shots now. Last couple of times down, they aren't even getting a shot off at the basket, and you're not going to put any points on the board by doing that, which gives the ball right back to Aris, and that's the man they want to have it. Taking the ball to the basket, drawing a foul on Martin Clark, and unfortunately, that's Martin's 5th foul.
So Kingston face big trouble now. We've just seen Alan Cunningham go off with 5 fouls. Now it's Martin Clark's turn. Certainly no disgrace, though, to leave the court on 5 fouls. They've worked incredibly hard, and they've contributed towards, I suppose, what has to be said is a surprising scoreline, where Kingston are 6 points in the lead.
Yeah, Coach Kaler wants them to go with the things that got them where they are, which is defensive rebounding, making sure Aris don't get a second shot, third shot at the basket. When they take a shot, make sure they get the ball and then push it down the floor, looking for a break, looking for an early opportunity, because that's what got them this lead, got them where they are now, and they've gone away from that. And we've seen the last few times when they've set up their offense, they haven't even gotten a shot off. So, a few specific instructions there from the coach at timeout. Let's see if they can do it.
So the message really is no mistakes, no sloppy passes, and go back to what they were really doing at the beginning of the first half.
Well, he wants them to, fast-paced basketball. He thinks that's where Aris are vulnerable, and so he wants to take it right at them.
Well, there we see the scoreline. Aris back to within 4 points. So the passes have to be clean. Lorenzo Duncan on a drive. Now, will that basket count? That could well have been a foul called on Lorenzo Duncan.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're calling offensive foul, Paul. Here it is. He's driving to the basket. And in that situation, referee judged Lorenzo initiating the contact, but those kind of things can go either way. It could easily have been a foul on Giannakis as well, but not this time.
So Giannakis adjudged to have got there first.
Wait a minute, I think we got a double foul. One referee had it on Duncan, the other referee had it on Giannakis, so it's going to be a jump ball. Here we see it again. As I say, it's a thing that can go either way. And in this situation, it went both ways. And unfortunately for Aris, that's his 5th foul, Giannakis' 5th foul, who's played a big part in tonight's game, and he's going to be sorely missed out there.
Well, there was certainly a big play for both the Greeks and for Kingston. He's obviously terribly disappointed to be leaving the court.
He's one of their leaders, if not their main leader, really, Paul Giannakis. He's so influential to the Aris team. As I say, he will sorely be missed out there. And Kingston got to take advantage of it.
So no free shots for anybody this time. It was a double foul, and therefore it's a jump ball there. Lorenzo Duncan going up for Kingston. But it's Brad Sellers who gets possession for the Greek champions.
And we see Angelides in there for Giannakis, the number 12 for Aris.
What a superb player Nick Gallis is. They're working his way inside the zone. But Martin Henlon who gets the rebound. Lorenzo Duncan brings it away. 2 points there for Kingston. That is a valuable basket.
Big basket for Kingston. Couldn't have come at a better time. Martin Hennon fighting very hard to get the ball. There's a nice hook pass from Malton out to Duncan on the break. And a 2-on-1 to Trevor Gordon, finishing it off nicely and drawing a foul. Chance for a 3-point play here. Yeah, things are getting hot.
And Trevor Gordon drawing that foul, so gives Kingston the chance for this extra point. Misses it, but it's retrieved by Alton Bird, so now the chance to go back to basket, see if they can increase this 6-point lead. We're down to just over 4 minutes.
The smallest guy on the floor taking that rebound, Paul. Takes determination.
Well, there was no mistake about that one. Martin Henlon dunking it solidly in the basket for 2 points. A great drive by Bird. He feeds to Henlon, and no mistake there.
Kingston at its best there, Paul. Great pass from Alton Bird, hitting him right at the right time for the dunk.
And the lead back to 8. And that's the big man again, Brad Sellers, but he misses. And so Lorenzo Duncan bringing it down court. Good shot there from Lorenzo Duncan. Another 2 points for him.
Yeah, we saw Kevin Cadle on the sideline tell him, go, go, go with it. And that's what he did. And he finished it off just right.
Well, this match has certainly been a tale of different phases in the match, when first of all the Greeks have dominated in this second half, but now Kingston coming back into it as Nick Gallis goes up yet again for a drive.
Great one-on-one player, nice spin move there, taking it to the basket and drawing a foul on Martin Henlon with a tough shot falling away like that.
Ryan, you at the high post. Let's run off, Martin. All right, let's go. Let's go. Hey, block out. Block out. 1, 2, 3.
Block out. That's the message they leave the huddle with. And that's what it's all about, defensive boards. Making sure every time Aris does take a shot, they get a man on their back and they get the rebound. But talking about Gallis, he's really, coming back in this game, bringing Aris back into the game here with some tough shots and tough baskets, just like that last one. So now he's got a chance to make it a three-point play. And you're right, it has been ebbing and flowing this game, Paul. And fortunately, Kingston, every time the Aris comes back a little bit, they found that little something extra to get a few points on the board and extend the lead. They only have 3.5 minutes to do it to win this ball game.
Well, as Alton Bird goes back into his role as playmaker, we can look back to the first half and look at the rebound situation there, where I suspect that is where Kingston won it. Alton Bird with a bit of a pressure shot there, and Trevor Gordon goes up for a rebound. Oh, my goodness. Now this could mean problems for Trevor Gordon. That was deliberate.
Yeah, the fans are starting to throw a few more things in here on the court now. They didn't like that at all. Trevor letting things kind of get away with him.
I think perhaps Trevor Gordon felt he was held there. Now Lorenzo Duncan has been hit with something. That didn't happen during the course of play. He's definitely been hit with a missile of some sort coming off the side of the court there, and this is disgraceful. There you see somebody just checking him out. That could have been very dangerous indeed.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, Paul, and it's important they keep control of this game and control the fans as well. You see a tough shot there from Alton Bird, and there's the rebound. And I think it was just after that, here they gave the ball to Aris. It was just after that, as Trevor was getting up, that he, what they call an intentional foul. He intentionally fouled Liparides, which puts him on the line for 2 free throws and gives the ball to Aris as well. So not a good time for a foul like that.
Well, I suppose one can only sense a bit of frustration coming into the Kingston team now. So 2 very safe points for the Greeks, and they retain possession. So that has made quite a difference to the scoreline. We're down to just 3.5 minutes left, and Kingston 5 points in the lead. So Nick Gallis again it is who sets up the play for Aris.
Here we see Kingston in a 2-3 zone. I think to protect some of the players from getting any further fouls, and also help them keep control of defensive boards.
Well, Sobin there who tips it in, and as well as frustration, one can almost sense that Kingston know they're in foul trouble, and they were doing exactly what you said they might do in the first half, which is just back off the Greek players so that they don't have any physical contact with them whatsoever, and that lets Sobin in for that basket. But Alton Bird makes the perfect reply.
Yeah, that'll quieten the crowd. Big shot here from Alton after a nice screen from Martin Henlon to get him open. And here's the thing we talked about, the defensive boards. Last time down, Aris got an offensive rebound, tip in for 2 points, and here Sobin getting his own rebound, causing a jump ball. They've got to block out, as Kevin Cadle says, keep them off the boards.
Well, Martin Henlon it was who got the jump, but there's a long shot, and that is 3 points for Nick Gallis. And that has brought the Greeks right back into this match. 2 points in it. With just over 2 minutes left. And Gallis it is who straight away goes onto the shoulder of Alton Bird.
A tough player. Tough shot.
Well, Bird can do the same thing. He took Gallis towards the basket and then just backed off him there with a jump shot. Great shot there from Alton Bird. 4 points now in the lead. Gallis again with a 3-point play. Sobin up for the rebound. Brad Sellers got it. And a foul called on Kingston.
Yeah, I think they got it on Mike Griffiths. Reaching in for the foul. As we say, it's they got to keep them off the boards. Those are some tough players to keep out of there. But nonetheless, they've been doing it for most of the game. They got to maintain it down the line here.
Well, as we look at Brad Sellers, a big, tall, 7-foot American. Mike Griffiths now in a bit of foul trouble. He's got 4. And so Coach Kevin Cadle, I'm sure, thinking of different options in terms of substitutions and bringing other players on. Brad Sellers there, 20 points in this match so far. And he's had a great game. Good rebound there from Martin Henlon, but he loses possession. And it goes out to Gallis again. So a bit of luck there for Kingston. That's the last thing they want, is to have Nick Gallis shooting these 3-point plays.
Martin Henlon made sure he wasn't going to lose at that time. He had those elbows up nice and high and drew the foul on Sellers as they tried to grab the ball away from him. Now he gets a chance at the free throw line with a 1-on-1. And these are very important free throws. There we are. And that's what you got to do. Anytime you get a crowd around you like that with a rebound, you got to swing those arms a little bit. Keep them off you.
So 3 points the difference. Sobin in there very early. But they all count, as they say, and that's Brad Sellers losing possession. And there should be no dispute with that at all. It was Brad Sellers who lost his grip on the ball. Lorenzo Duncan having recovered from that nasty incident when the game was stopped for a little while, and it's Bird inside to Martin Henlon. And I don't think anybody is sitting down in the stadium now. They can't bear it.
Unfortunately, we got a foul called there before the basket. Here you see Alton bringing it down, and Sobin goes right after him and fouls him. And ref saying no basket, foul on Sobin. But Alton's got a chance to 1-on-1 on the free throw line here.
So if the first shot is successful, he gets the chance at the second. And the Greeks having foul trouble themselves now. We've been talking so much about Kingston having the fouls, but it's the Greeks who have team foul trouble. Missed chance there for Alton Bird, but Henlon with the rebound, and he puts Alton Bird back in control where he belongs. Nearly down to the final minute of this match, and it must be going through Alton Bird's mind that if they can just hang on to this cushion they've got, they're home and dry, and this would give them their second win in this European Champions Cup round-robin competition.
And that's one place you can win the game on, Paul, is on the free throw line. Alton drawing the foul on Vertsoumis there, out away from the basket. And these are all crucial free throws.
Although we're down to just over 1 minute left, we see this so often in basketball where the last 2 or 3 minutes can seem like an eternity. Packed full of incident and stoppages. But there you see Alton Bird's free throws there, giving them a 6-point lead again. So a tough proposition now for Nick Gallis. They've got to score 3 times, or maybe get a couple of 3-point shots away in less than a minute. And there's Sobin, and there's one of them. So the lead down to 4. Sobin was well inside there. Went inside Martin Henlon, and 2 points for him.
Oh, unlucky. 5-second call there. You have 5 seconds to pass the ball inbounds, and refs felt that Lorenzo took too long, so ball goes back to Aris. That's a big turnover at this stage. Gives Aris another quick go at the basket here.
And there you see the clock ticking down, 42 seconds left. Nick Gallis on the ball. They still need 4 points to draw level with Kingston. On the drive, and the foul has been called against Trevor Gordon. Now, I'll be interested to see that one again, because difficult to see whether there was very much contact between the two players, but there you see Trevor Gordon putting his right hand across, stopping the progress of the player. So Trevor himself on 4 fouls.
And Kingston in foul trouble as well. Every foul's a 1-on-1 for Aris. And this gives them a chance to get right back in it.
So Michael Romanidis it is, another Greek international player who goes for the second point, and there it is. And straight away Aris put the pressure on. They're pressing the players all the way, down to 2 points the lead. Lorenzo Duncan under pressure from 2 players. Now what was that? Was that a foul called on Nick Gallis? It's going to send Lorenzo Duncan to the free throw line. So a big sigh of relief from the Kingston supporters.
They need these.
Well, he might regret missing that shot, because the lead only 2 points, the clock ticking down to 20 seconds left.
He had the ball on the free throw line, and an Aris player runs right across the lane. You know, they should have stopped it and given him another chance to go.
Well, an interception there by Lorenzo Duncan, but 9 seconds, and it's the danger man Gallis on the ball again. That's Romanidis. There's Sobin, and Sobin puts the basket in, and there's no time left. We go into extra time. The Greek spectators going absolutely berserk. The clock was ticking down, only 2 seconds left, and Sobin it was who got that ball.
And Sobin stuck in there and went hard after it. Here we see Sellers keeping the ball alive up there, and Sobin just going after it with all kinds of determination, going back up very strong inside. As you say, the final seconds.
Well, there was Romanidis on the drive, a little tip in the air by Brad Sellers, but there's number 8, Sobin. Maybe a little bit of a push there, but the basket goes in, and so Kingston go into extra time against Aris, the Greek national champions. Well, a fantastic atmosphere here at Crystal Palace as both teams come out for this first period of extra time of 5 minutes. There you see the score, 82 points each. That was Trevor Gordon, number 15, going up for the tip-off. Straight to his playmaker, Alton Bird. And he's got to have a major influence on this first period of extra time if Kingston is to stay in this match. Kingston, as Bird goes on the drive, had an 18-point lead in the first half. They held on to a substantial lead until about 5 minutes from the end. And then Nick Gallis and Yanakis, before he went off, 2 of the major players for Aris, brought that lead right back. And there was Alton Bird on the drive. That could well have been a foul by number 8, Sobin. Staring in disbelief, and there you see confirmation of that. 5 fouls, so he leaves the game. And he was one of the big danger men.
That's right, and here we see Alton on the free throw line. It's important for a team to get that first score in the overtime because it gives you a nice little psychological advantage, a little boost there if you can be the first team to score in the overtime. So it makes the other team have to come from behind, and it's only 5 minutes of play. I say only, 5 minutes can be a long time out there.
Well, I'm sure it's going to seem like forever. It's a long shot there from the Greeks. Rebound taken by Henlon.
And we see him holding his side there. I think he took a blow early on in the game, and it's that last fall he took at the end of the regulation time. I think he's feeling a little worse for wear.
Lorenzo Duncan there with a shot, and 2 points for him. So Kingston back in control. There he is, number 5, Lorenzo Duncan. Fully recovered now. We thought he'd been hit by some sort of object thrown from the crowd towards the end of that blistering second half. But he's fine now.
We see Kingston still in this 2-3 zone. It's worked pretty well for him where they've gotten hurt. Unfortunately, he's been inside on the second and third shots from the big guys, but with Sobin out now, that should make a big difference. So I can imagine we'll see a lot of the zone defense from them this overtime.
Well, this man, number 6, Nick Garlis, has had a major impact on this game. And he's certainly a danger man that Kingston, with this defence, must keep out. There's the big man, all 7 feet of him. 2 points for Brad Sellers.
Yeah, they got the ball to him in his range there. Nice little 8-10 footer for 2 points. Brings him back to within 1.
And that 1 point could actually be very important. It means that effectively Kingston could just scrape 3 points ahead. Greece have got to score twice to get the lead back again, but disappointment there for Alton Bird.
Offensive foul. Here we see it. He's driving to the basket with Gallus on him and jumps up and into him a little bit. I think a little severe call there for him, but nonetheless, Aris ball. They got a chance to take the lead here.
So 2 minutes almost of this first period of extra time gone, and there's a shot from the Greeks. Rebound there from Martin Henlon yet again. He's very high on the list of rebounds tonight. He's done very well in defense.
Yeah, he's been making sure of the last ones. The last couple of times he's gotten rebounds. There's been a little bit fumbles, and Aris ended up back with the ball. This time now he's grabbing his ball, grabbing that rebound, and making sure nobody else gets it.
Well, not the sportsmanlike behaviour we'd like from the Greek fans as Alton Bird misses that shot. Lorenzo Duncan on the drive. A good 2 points for him. So he's shooting well at the moment.
Just about to say maybe a little too quick a shot there for the Kingston team. I would have thought he might have pulled it out and held it up a little bit, but good shot, Lorenzo.
And there's a fantastic shot. Lorenzo Duncan's shot was good. That was great. Nick Garlis, the team captain, the Greek international, just outside the three-point line. So there they are, back on terms. We're down to just under 2.5 minutes. Alton Bird, not a happy man at the moment, and he's under a lot of pressure.
Now this time he got the foul on Gallus. There we have it. Not this time, Mr. Gallus, I'm afraid. And puts Alton back on the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Then you can see down the offensive end there, the Aris team set up their 2 big men up there setting screens to try to get Nick Gallus open for those shots, which is just what happened last time when he hit the three-pointer. So Kingston are going to have to try to counter that next time down on defense. Still, it's important for Alton to hit these free throws.
That's what Kingston want. The experience of Alton Bird, 33 years old now, been playing top-class basketball for many, many years. That takes the lead back to 1. A lot of pushing underneath the basket there, but the second basket made good. So Kingston go back in the lead by 2 points. And I suppose the story of this match really has been all about the control of both Bird and Garlis.
Yeah, they've both been very instrumental in where the game stands right now. And there we catch Lorenzo Duncan reaching in there, trying to steal the ball. Very unfortunate. That's where a lot of players pick up a lot of really silly fouls. They're trying to reach in and steal. And that gives him number 5.
So as we've seen in previous European Champions Cup matches, as we see the foul there reaching round, Kingston have big problems. 3 of their major forces, their best players, are taken out of the game. As number 6, Sam Stiller, comes back on. So it's Nick Garlis who goes to the free throw line.
Well, Sam should be pretty well used to these situations, Paul, because we talked about Kingston getting in foul trouble into these European games, and a lot of times it's been Sam coming off the bench in a situation such as this. So he should be ready to handle this one.
So the whole thing's square after 2 halves of 20 minutes each into this first period of extra time of 5 minutes. The clock ticking away. Alton Bird wanting a lot more motion around the zone. Maybe he feels that there's not enough action going on out there. The players must move to give the playmaker the options he wants to get that ball inside and get the shot away. He gets frustrated, he takes the shot himself, and it's not successful this time.
Yeah, poor offense from Kingston there. Alton was forced to shoot that ball because they really didn't have any other opportunity. And at this stage of the game, they got to create those opportunities. As you say, Paul, move that ball around, get some player movement, and hopefully create an open shot. Still, it's all tied up, and now they've got to stop Aris at this end.
Well, Bird being pushed around there by Lipidus, all 6'7" of him, and Alton Bird only 5'8". It's like trying to move the immovable object. There's Brad Sellers with a long shot. Rebound taken by Sam Stiller and hugs it into his chest, so there's no mistake of losing possession.
Good defense from Kingston that time, forcing a poor shot really from Aris. Sellers that time. That wasn't really his type of shot. So let's see if Kingston can make more of this offensive opportunity.
Well, Kevin Cadle, they're anxious to get the message across. And again, Bird in control on the top of that zone, but the Greek defence very tight indeed. The ball's fed out. Mike Griffiths.
Big rebound from Alton Bird. Again, the smallest guy on the floor picks up the offensive rebound, and they worked for a good open shot on the penetration from Alton, finding Mike Griffiths open in the corner. Unfortunately missed it.
Well, Alton Bird in no hurry whatsoever. Only 15 seconds left. This could be the last attack of the match. They've got to make a shot. It's got to count. Alton Bird with a play. Henlon takes the rebound, and he misses. And the clock ticks away. There's Gallus with a long shot. Oh my goodness gracious me. If that had gone in, it would have all been over. The 3 points would have gone to the Greeks. But as it is, we end up all square and go into a second period of extra time. That was very close indeed.
Here we go. Here's the shot from Alton, missed. Big rebound from Martin Henlon. Tough shot there. Outlet pass to Nick Gallus here. And look at this.
Well, what vision he's got, because he knew the clock was ticking away. And look how close that was. Let's see Trevor Gordon going up for the tip-off to start this next period of extra time. And so it goes on. I wonder if there's a record for the most number of extra periods there have ever been. I know that we've seen some massive scores as a result of extra times before, well over the hundreds. And it often happens in the American Basketball League, as we see Sam Stiller take a long shot. And that was close. Martin Henlon takes the rebound.
Yeah, that was a tough shot from Sam. He's a good long-range shooter, but I think they're hoping for something a little bit better than that. Still, big rebound from Martin Henlon. He's really come into his own out there tonight's ball. Very impressive with the rebounding from him.
There's Stiller again with a long shot. He's certainly renowned for some of these long shots, and there's Martin Henlon. Not sure if it was actually his hand that pushed the ball in, but I'm sure the basket will be credited to him.
Oh, yeah,
let's just watch it again.
Great offensive tip there from Martin Henlon. He'll definitely take credit for it. He deserves it.
So down to 4 minutes. The ball's worked inside to Nick Gallus, and goodness knows what he was doing there. Back out to Liparides, inside to the big man Brad Sellers. Rebound taken by Sam Stiller, and Sam Stiller is no giant, but he was well up there for the rebound.
And here we see Alton pushing the ball up the floor, which worked well for them throughout the whole game. They haven't been doing that so much lately. I'm sure that's one of the things Coach Cadle told them to do in between overtime periods. Hey, let's start running the ball up the floor a little bit more, because they're not getting a lot out of their half-court offense.
Well, that was a great shot there.
I'll take that back.
That was superb timing from Alton Bird out to Sam Stiller, and the points were put away. So the lead increased to 4, and the clock ticking away. I just wonder now if Kingston have got the initiative back. They're staying cool. They've got the plays they want. And Nick Gallus sinks 3 for the opposition. Just as we were saying, that Kingston have got the initiative back. What do the Greeks do? The best man on the court, in my opinion. He puts 3 away. And there's Kingston again, Martin Henlon, for 2 points. So the lead back up to 3.
Hey, this young kid Henlon's gaining a lot of experience out there tonight. He's making a name for himself, rebounding. He's hit some big shots for Kingston, and no bigger than that last one, giving him a 3-point lead. That's a nice margin to have. It's going to force Aris to come back with at least 3 points to tie the game. I think what concerns Coach Cadle is with their 2-3 zone, how to defend that outside shot from Gallus. Here we see the ball movement there from Griffiths into Martin Hennon with a big shot turnaround for 2 points. But it's at the defensive end here with this 2-3 zone. Well, now I think they're out in a different combination now. It looks like it might be a box and one with Sam Stiller marking Nick Gallus man for man. The other 4 players in a zone defense, a 2-2 zone defense.
Well, as the Greeks work the ball inside, we haven't seen Sam Stiller on court very much this evening. But he's worked incredibly hard, but Brad Sellers it is there. That goes in for a big dunk and a big 2 points for the Greeks. So the lead back to 1. Bird it is who drives inside. There's Trevor Gordon. Out to Mike Griffiths. Just over 2 minutes left in this second period of extra time. Sam Stiller shadowing Nick Gallus all the way.
A big rebound, Martin Hennon. Could have been a call for over the back on that one. But he kept control of the ball, giving him another go. Unfortunately, couldn't connect on that pass there. Still off the Sellers, so it's still Kingston ball sideline. Looks like Aris have gone back to man-to-man defense here.
Well, as Altenberg calls the play again, Nick Gallus is the man on him again. They've been inseparable during this match. Sam Stiller back to Altenberg. Bird drives inside, just gets past Gallus, but misses this time. And Sam Stiller there, lucky not to be called for a foul. You see Brad Sellers bringing the ball up court, and that's an unusual position for him to be in.
Yeah. Now Kingston back to his 2-3 zone again. Let's see, it's just enough to confuse the Aris team a little bit, to make them kind of hold the ball up a little bit, see just what defense they are in, and set up their offense, which all works to Kingston's favor.
Well, there's Gallus again. He just strolling round the corner, and then all of a sudden unleashes the shot. He's always dangerous. You just cannot give this man an inch as they go into a timeout.
Unfortunately, they forced a bad shot. Could have had that defensive rebound.
We get a rebound, we got the game. All right, we get the ball to all. We run outside, man, and pop it in short middle. That'll be either one of you. All right, let's go, baby. Let's go. We got it. D-up, shot goes. Everybody got a rebound. If you can't get it, knock it out of there. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Well, the message there to Sam Stiller was very, very clear indeed from Kevin Cadle. He still sees Nick Gallus as the danger man, and Sam Stiller has to stick to him like glue.
Yeah, he's definitely the danger man. He's their only real scoring threat from the outside. And so they got to keep him under close guard here. And they are back into this box and one defense.
Well, Mike Griffiths there working hard in defence, keeping Brad Sellers out of the way. Brad Sellers, though, really wants to be inside to make use of his height. The long shot there again taken by Henlon. Safe in Henlon's hands, straight out to Altenberg. Only 41 seconds left on the clock. Bird's on the drive.
Oh.
Misses that time. Gallus comes away for Aris. Oh my goodness, and the Greeks are still on the ball, and it's Nick Gallus who puts the 2 points away. So Aris go 1 point in the lead, 21 seconds left, and this could be the end for Kingston.
How they did not call a foul on that last drive on Altenberg, I'll never know. He had 2 guys on top of him.
There's Martin Henlon, misses that time, and Brad Sellers has the rebound. There's only 7 seconds left.
And a 1-on-1 for Brad Sellers at the other end. That's 5 fouls for Trevor Gordon. With only 7 seconds on the clock.
Talk about atmosphere. It really is electric out there. I don't really think the crowd can believe the basketball match they're seeing.
Hey, we talk about big free